Okay, want to thank you all for joining us. And so I'm located outside of Seattle on the west coast of the United States, and Mats is over in Sweden. So Mats, why don't you go ahead and take over, and we'll let you go ahead and introduce
Yes,
people to Graphic Tracer.
so I will just go through a little bit of what the program can do. So first of all, this is your program window of Graphic Tracer. And if you look at the top here, we have a bar of 9 different buttons. And these are the working modes in Graphic Tracer. So basically you go from left to right, from load image all the way across to save. And when you're at save, you're finished with your graphics original, and it will be ready for production. So this is a vector conversion software, and it's very high end. It's better than most vectorizing software that are included in other graphic software. So we have lots of users that use Adobe or Corel or sign making software, and they still use Graphic Tracer for vectorization, because we do not only vectorize the graphics, we also recreate the graphics as it to its original look. So I will show you first a demo of demo image in the program. And I can tell you a little bit more. When you change the different modes here, you will see to your right, the help window will change and tell you what you can do with the different options, and the options you have to the left. So the help is on the right, and the options for each mode here are shown in the left menu here. So under load, we have new, open, paste, clipboard, screen capture, scan, or import. And the difference between open and import is that import will open vector graphics. So if you have traced an image in another program and want to clean it up, you use import. If you want to open a bitmap file, you use import open here. And paste from clipboard is also for bitmap files or bitmap images that you have copied from the web or from another program. Or screen capture is naturally just copying an image from your screen. And if we move across here, we have separate colors, and we will go through all of these and until you get to save. You have different options for exporting the ready graphics. And we also have this click link feature that will allow you to send the graphics directly into another software. So if you're working with any of these softwares, Illustrator, CorelDRAW, or any of the other ones here in the list, you can just select that software and click transfer, and the graphics will pop right into that program. And so I will start with a demo image that we have used a couple of times. So if you go to the file menu, you have an option called samples. And if you're new to this software, we recommend that you go through at least a couple of these images. And I can show you if I click on the home button here, this is the start screen of the help window. We have 3 different tutorials here that is a good starting point when you start using Graphic Tracer. So if you click tutorial 1, it will open up an image in the program window, and you will also activate a video from the web that will play, and you can mimic the actions that we do in the video and pause it whenever you need to catch up, and then just go through step by step and learn what the program can do. But now I will take one of the samples here, and I will take we have a logo called Wildcats 2017 here that we have used. And now when I open this, you can see I get a dialog box popping up that says, "You're opening a samples file. Would you like to open an instruction video for it in your browser?" That's exactly what will happen when you click on the lessons we have in the help window when you start the program. So I won't play the video for you. I will instead show you step by step how you can fix this logo. So I click no. And the first thing you need to do in Graphic Tracer is to let the program know which colors you want to trace. And in this case, we probably want to trace the gold, red, black, and probably white also here. So I can do that by clicking with the color picker tool here, or I can click automatic to let the program pick out the colors. So I don't want to use that gray, so I will just delete that. And instead the leftmost white here is the background color of the image. So I can click that and say the gray here should be the background, and that will not be traced. So if I click process, the image is turned into those solid colors that I have selected. So, and the background will become white and will not be traced. So I think this looks like a good segmentation of the colors, and I will just click vectorize here. So basically you can say that from when I press spacebar, I will see the original bitmap again, and you can see I turn this into this in a few seconds by just clicking vectorize. And if you were going to print this on a golf ball, that might be good enough. But if you zoom in here, you can see that you don't want to use this for anything in any larger size at least. So what the program can do is it's an excellent tool for replacing the graphics with what you want in the image, the actual fonts and the actual curves, and I'll just show you how to do it here. So I will select the top text here, and it says Grand Prix winner 2017. And we have a tool. I didn't tell you that, but I moved over to the text tool after creating vectors. And we have a tool here called Identify Font and Replace. So I'll click that, and you can see I got a piece of the cat's ear here. I can deselect that here, or I can go back to my text mode again and deselect it out there. But if I press Shift and click on this object, it will be deselected from the font identification. So now I need to tell the program that this is not written on a straight baseline, because that's the default setting here, it is straight text. So in this selection here, you can, or in this box, you can select which orientation or which kind of baseline the text has. So it has straight text, angled text, vertical text. Then we have free characters, and I will show you today what free characters are. And then we have a circular arc, and this is definitely written on a circular arc, so I will select that, and the program will calculate baseline for the text. And I think I will adjust it slightly here. And the better you adjust the baseline, the replacement will be placed on this curve. So it will look better if you are thorough with the arcs or the curves or lines or whatever type of alignment you have of the text here. And when I've selected that, I will click next. And this dialog box up here controls the the whole events or the font identification and replacement. So I'm just working with this dialog box, and in the drawing window here, I can see the results of everything I do up here. So now I need to check that all the letters are correct before I try to identify the font. And I can see here that the R has been interpreted as an A. And then I can use the tab key to move to the next letter, and that should be a P, not a question mark. There should be an R. And then there is one. So the R's were basically interpreted as A's here, but And you can see there is a shift key symbol under all of these because these are all capital letters. If I enter a lowercase, there will be no symbol under the entry field here. And if there are numbers, there will be these hashtag symbols. So it says 2017 correctly there. And then I'll click Next. And the program now tries to identify the font and tries to match it up with the best match. So now you can see we got a font that looks approximately the same as the text that we have traced. The thing is that if I zoom in here, you can see that the D is slightly off, and the P also, and the R, the inner part of the R. And this is one of the beauties with this program, that the suggested font is projected right on top of the traced text. So you can see exactly how good the match is, or if the match is off ever so slightly. Sometimes you have a good match, but one letter is off, and that could be that the designer has done something to that letter, or sometimes people mix fonts, and then you can replace part of the text and then move on and do the numbers with a different font if that was the case. So it's a magnificent tool when you actually can see what the suggested font looks like right on top of the traced image here. So I can say that this is a really close match, but it's not the perfect font. So I will click here. We have an option called try stretching. So if the font isn't found, it can be that we don't have that in our databases. And since you can add all of your fonts that you own into the program, if you had a font that looked like the perfect match here, it would find it, but this time I will try to click try stretching. And that means that I can do a new search, and it will try to stretch and compress all the fonts while searching here. So I'll just click search, and it does a new search here. So, okay, so now we can see that the inner parts of the R and the P and everything looks much better. So the font is called Microgramma, and it has been compressed from its original width to 67%. I'm not sure how if you can see that in the webinar here, but that's what it says here. And it's from a collection called Unspecified. So the top result here is I don't know what source that is. It says unspecified. But the second option is also Microgramma, and it says URW Open Works Collection. And if I select that, you can see that it's a copy of the same font as the top one. And I can go down, and here I have a green option. It says Microgramma D bold also. And if I select that, the replace button lights up here. That means I own that font, and I can replace with that. I also had a font in yellow here. It says collection number 103495, and that is not a font. It's a tracing that we have of fonts. So we have a large selection of traced images from letters. So depending on what the license for different fonts are, we have been able to trace some of the shapes, and you can replace text with those fonts, but then it's called a shape collection here. And then we have the green ones, and that is the best option because then you're replacing with the actual font. So I will just click replace here, and you can see now that this is a perfect text. I mean, there is no flaw in it. It's the actual font that we have replaced with.
Can I make a comment, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, on those shapes, oftentimes the copyrighted part of the font is the name.
Yeah.
So
it depends on what the font licensing options are, what we can do to help you to replace
right.
text.
So Graphic
We
Tracer
also
can
have
help
font,
you.
yeah,
Oh, I was going to
yeah,
say Graphic Tracer can help you because many fonts have different aliases. They come in different libraries,
yeah,
and so often like you can find lookalike fonts that you're free to use, you know, that you can download. But if you have a name that you're searching for, the Graphic Tracer can tell you a variety of different font names that you can search for and find what you need to clean up your graphic, uh, oftentimes very fast. Okay, that's done.
okay, yeah. We also have in our font collections, we have the fonts that you immediately can use. So all the fonts from Google Fonts, for example, they are absolutely free to use in the program. So there are 6,500 fonts from that. If you are a CorelDRAW users, those fonts will be included if you have activated them in CorelDRAW. And the same with Adobe. If you use Adobe graphics programs, you can activate Adobe fonts, and then you can immediately replace them here upon activation in Adobe fonts. But we will even link you to the correct location, so you just activate the font and then you can replace immediately here. So it's a very helpful program. So let's pretend that this Wildcats racing team finally won the Grand Prix again, and now we want to put into this text 2023. So what I can do, I could do this even as I identify the font, but I can do it now also. If I go to identify font and replace, I will deselect these objects that I don't want. Say that's on a circular arc. Adjust the baseline a little bit. That looks good. Click next. And this time I need to check that all the letters are correct again. And it still thinks that R's are A's here. So I need to fix that. And there's a 0, like that. Okay, so what I can do here is tell the program that this is a 2 and this is a 3. Okay, and I click my last search option here. Okay, you can see the 2 and the 3 got a wrong rotation here, or just the 2 actually. Can't say why really, but what I can do is just manually place it where it should be when it does that. That's a little bit too much. So I can reposition any character and I can move it in this, and then sorry, I need to select the green font before I do that. Now you can see it calculated the positions correctly, and I'll click replace. So that's a little bit of a trick you can use for changing phone numbers or addresses or street numbers or years like this, or whatever you need to change in the text. So I will show you, I'll do this bottom text really fast because you already seen how I can do that. This is written on a circular arc, and I'll click next. It says racing team. I'll click next again here, trying to find font. So if I'm not doing demonstrations and explaining everything, it only takes a few seconds to identify font and then just click replace and get a perfect text in any logo, or you're going to hit a font that is very similar or the exact match many times. Can't promise that you always will, but I can tell you that it will help you a lot. So I got a font here called Meta Plus Bold. It was a green font here in third place, and it looks like a good match. I don't even need to change the position or the rotation of any of them. If anything, I might need to, I will use the size option here and just scale it down, maybe not that much. But you can see I can adjust the size and the stretch of the font with these controls here. And then I click replace, and that text is also perfect.
Right. You couldn't even upload that to a different font search engine as quickly as
No,
we've found it and replaced it.
exactly. So yeah. And if you go to other font search services on the net, you won't find fonts that are stretched or compressed, or even script texts are most of the times impossible to find because you can only have one letter per box in those services. But in Graphic Tracer, we do everything with if it's distorted like this wildcats, that's not written on an arc, it's actually bent out of shape. So I will show you here how I can select we have an option at the bottom here, it says distorted. So I'll select that, and then I need to specify which type of distortion this text is, and I think it's this one here. So the program will calculate the framing for the distortion here, and all I do is adjust it to make the text, so the new text will be placed inside that frame. And then I click next, and this time the program can't identify the letters because it's usually harder when it's distorted. So I will need to enter all of the letters here. And now it says Wildcats. I'll click next. And in a few seconds here, we'll have a result for that. So now we can see this is also Meta Plus. It's the same font that we had at the bottom of the logo. Third option here is in green. So that means that I can replace with that. As you can see, if I zoom in here, it's not perfect. So I can adjust the framing a little bit to get the text match up exactly against the vectorized text beneath it. So that was too much. Something like that. And now I'll click replace. So now all of the texts are perfect in this logo. So I will just now fix the contour surrounding this red text. And we have a tool. So now I'm ready with the text tool here. We have adjust shapes, which is node editing. And yeah, I'll do that first then. Otherwise, you can just use any of the modes here in any order that you like. But let's do it in the order where it says it. The one thing that is important to do is use the replace text tools first. If you want to recalculate the surrounding contour around the Wildcats logo here, you need to have the correct font before you can get a perfect result for the contour surrounding. Hope that makes sense. So just show you a bit what we can do in Graphic Tracer when it comes to node editing. So we have developed special tools that will clean up graphics really, really fast. So if I click a node on this circular arc, the end node at this end, and then control click the node on the other end here, it will select all the nodes going between those nodes in a chain. So I will actually wanted it to go in the other direction. So in that case, I just control click the last node again, and it will select all the nodes going in the other direction here. So that's a really helpful tool. And I want to convert all of these nodes into a circular arc. And I can just do that to the left here. We have convert nodes to arcs. So the neat thing is here that you don't have to hover over different buttons to see what they do. The buttons just say straight out, convert the nodes you have selected into arcs. And I select that, and you can see it becomes perfectly round with the nodes at the tops and on the sides here. Okay, and I can do that with the same tool here, I'll select the nodes at the bottom of this arc here. And when I convert those nodes into arcs, they become perfectly aligned with the first circle that I created up here, because it will check for previously created circles and see if they can align itself with the same center point and the same radius if it's possible. So also here you can see this segment here is let's see, I need to convert those into corners here. This is a curve, and the curve I can just drag and move around. If I double click on a curve, it becomes a straight line. If I double click on a straight line, it becomes a curve again. So it's really easy to just convert nodes into straight lines and curves. I will select two nodes here and say I want to convert those two into a corner. So if I zoom in here, you can see what will happen. When I point at the convert into a corner, you can see that there is a preview between the two nodes where the corner will be placed when I click there. Now I get one node in that corner. I will also adjust this one a little bit like that. I can do the same thing, select three nodes at the same time, convert them into a corner. If I zoom in, maybe you can see the preview in the corner, so I can see what will happen before I click. And that's also very helpful, because many times when you use graphic software, you click and then you have to undo because it wasn't possible what you wanted. I will select a couple of nodes here, convert those into a curve. So that means it's not a circular arc, it's just a curve between those two outermost nodes that I selected. I can also use keyboard shortcuts. So if I want to create a sharp corner here, I select those two nodes, and those segments that are adjacent here will be extended into a curve if I press P for pointed corner, like that. If I select these nodes, let's see here, I can press C for a curve, and that it will do that immediately. And let's see here, I think I will turn that. I can double click on a node to turn it into a cusp, and double click on the cusp to turn it into a soft node. So that soft node means that it will be a smooth transition through the node, but I want that to be a cusp. I will remove this node, and yeah, that looks pretty good. So let's fix the cat here also at the same time. So this should be a sharp corner, press P for that, and then all the way over to the other side, that should be a circular arc. So arc is A on the keyboard. And then I can just, the last node that I selected when I converted that into an arc remains selected. So I can just keep pressing Control and click on a new node, and it will select the next segment that I want to convert to something. And I convert that to curve by pressing C. I can zoom in here. I want to convert those two nodes to, why couldn't I do that? Okay, so I'll turn those into pointed corner, and then go up here, curve, down here, and make it a curve. And this way I can clean up the whole logo really, really fast. Or the nodes of the cat here. So you can see that there will only be a minimum number of nodes left here. I'll just remove those. This nose needs to be rounder. I will convert that into one curve and take that into a curve. So you can see it becomes very smooth and even when you have less nodes in the image. Let's see.
Cuts faster too, if you were cutting it.
It does. It does. If you cut it, or if you print it, it will be the same speed. So we have this thing down here also. I will stand those into a corner, make those into a curve. Oh, that was too much. Let's see. I'll just remove. So you need to be careful so that you don't remove too many nodes. Then you will start losing the shape of the graphics. So I think it looks pretty good. The eye could fix that also.
Matt, why don't you show how to retrace that eye? You can go back.
Okay.
Can't you at this
So
point go?
if I go back to create vectors here, I can, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
When you have, let's see here. Yeah. So the settings for the creating vectors are for the whole image, so to say, when you create vectors the first time here. The default settings here for details, corners, and lines are the same for the whole image. But sometimes we have small objects, and if it's a noisy image, some colors might look really bad. Then you can just say, okay, for this object, I want to decrease the detail. And then you can click redo selected because this object is selected. And if no objects are selected, all of the image will be retraced with the new settings. Otherwise, it's only the selected objects. So I will click redo selected, and you can see I got much less nodes here. Actually, that looks kind of good. So I think I'll leave the eye like that. So that's a really neat feature also. So the only thing I need to fix now to be ready with the whole logo actually is the surrounding outline of the Wildcats logo or the Wildcats text here. So I will select that, and we move from adjust shapes to replace objects. And here we have replace with a square, rectangle, circle, ellipse, triangle. We have copy shape to object. That is actually one thing that I can show you in this image also. But we have at the bottom here, we have replace contour. So if I select that option, the program will calculate the suggested distance for the nearest contour, and I can just click preview here. When I click preview, the program will calculate suggested outline. And if I think it looks correct, okay, something is wrong here. That's difficult. Let's see here if I can. No. Okay, there's something. So the D won't get an outline here. Can't tell you why. Maybe it wasn't selected. I need to check this. Okay. Now I think all the letters are selected there. Replace objects, click preview. Yeah, that looks much better. So you can see that the suggested contour is right where it should be, I think. So all I need to do is click apply here. And the contour is replaced. And now you got a perfect calculated contour from the actual font. Can't get anything better than that. And the logo is actually ready to be used for any purpose now. So I can just skip the two remaining tools here, edit objects. Edit objects will otherwise let you change color or skew or reposition things and resize. Size can be important if you want to export the graphics in a particular size, if you want to do a printing original. So in save here, we have a tool. We can save the image naturally in Graphic Tracer or export it If you select to export it, you can use EPS, DXF, AI, PLT, SVG, and then you can also export it to some bitmap formats. So if you have a tiny bitmap, you vectorize it, and then you can save it into a perfect large bitmap without any loss of quality at all. Actually, better quality than enlarging any bitmap. And we also have export to PDF, and then we have a color separation tool. So that's mainly for screen printers, and if you're working with the transfers, I think you can use this also. So it will separate the logo here into the colors. So we have black, white, yellow, and red, and then we have a box here with all the colors in it. So if I click red, it will only show what's red, yellow, white. White is hard to see, but we have a checkbox here called in black, and we show every color in black here, even all the colors, but that is hard to see what it looks like. So also you can click the gray square to the left here with a plus in it. Then you will create a white underbase, and you can set trapping, choke it or spread it. I think you usually choke the underbase. You can do the same thing with every layer on top here. And you can create registration marks, and they will be in all of the layers naturally. So let's see here, centered round marks. I get one at the top and one at the bottom here, and they are in every layer of the image. So you can piece together all the screen printing layers, and then you can export it to PDF, and you will get printouts that you can, or if you print directly to film, I guess you can do that also, or use the PDFs to print to film.
Those registration marks can be resized easily as well.
Yeah, and moved. You can just, let's see here. You can select them and move them if you're in the all colors button here, and then you will move all the registration marks will naturally be moved in all colors simultaneously. So it's a really neat tool if you're working with screen printing, also Graphic Tracer.
What is the cost and how do we order? We have three options. You have Graphic Tracer is a subscription software. I mean, you can subscribe on a month-to-month basis. It's $15 a month, unlimited use on a monthly subscription. If you do an annual subscription, you can save 33%. It's only $10 a month, but you pay once a year. That's $120 a year. And both of those options give you free upgrades, and you're always on the most recent version. If you want to purchase the program outright, it's $595. And with that, you get a non-expiring license with free upgrades as well. So you pay us one time and you'll never pay us again, with that on the lifetime subscription, and you'll have a non-expiring license. You can, one question goes along with this is how many computers can you put it on? Graphic Tracer can be installed on any of your computers, but you can only use it on one station at a time. So you can you control it through your account page on our website to activate it on a different station, but you can only use it on one station at a time. So if you have a laptop you take home or a computer at home and one in your office or whatever, install it on both computers, and all you do is log on to your account page at graphicpowers.com, click move the license, move to another computer, and then you can open it up and use it on whatever station you want to use it on. But if you want to use it on two computers simultaneously, you need to purchase a second seat. So program, if you've never tried it before, you get a 10-day free trial. If you've already used your 10-day free trial, it won't activate again. But if you want to play around with it for more, just do a monthly subscription. you can change your subscription on the website, to change it from a monthly license to an annual license or whatever. But if you cancel your subscription, then it will end at the end of the current license that you have. So if you have an annual license and you want to cancel and there's still a month less, it will end at the end of the renewal period. It won't charge you again. Same with the monthly. If you're 1 week into the month and you cancel, you still have the program active for the rest of the month. It's not prorated or anything, so it's all sales are final. So the whole emphasis of this program is on saving you time. I like to tell people, there's many ways to do a job, but they're not all equal in efficiency. And any time that we can save you, again, is money into your pocket. And a graphic tracer, I believe, is the fastest way to create or recreate perfect vector originals. If you have a bad quality graphic or a logo or an image and you want to make it vector production ready, graphic tracer is the solution. So again, if there's any other questions, we'd be happy to answer any other questions anybody has. Otherwise, go to our website, download the trial, give it a test drive. If you have any questions through that, shoot us an email, and we'll be happy to help work through any questions you might have. I want to thank you all for attending this webinar today. And Mats, thanks for staying up late tonight to show us some of the different features of the program. And we try and do these webinars on a regular basis. And so the next one, when you get the email, we'll try and cover some other features that you haven't seen as we continue to develop this program and make it even more efficient. So thank you again for attending. And thank you, Mats. And with that, I guess we will conclude our webinar for today.
Yeah, thank you everybody for attending our webinar. And please let us, if you like the software and you're using it, please write a good review on Facebook for us.
If you have any questions, you can email me direct, steve@graphicpowers.com. And I will be happy if you include your phone number and your time zone. Best time to call. I'll do what I can to contact you direct. Anyway, thank you very much, and we'll conclude this for today. Bye now.